Okay, hi. This is Noah Peart, and I'm going to be showing you my HMI project for my fake PCB manufacturing plant. So first things first, when you launch the display, this is the main display you're shown, the login screen. Now you can't actually access anything until you log in. And to log in, we have two accounts. One being me, the super, but we're going to try Jared, the operator, first because he has limitations to which displays he can access, and I'm going to show you what those are. So let's log in as Jared. Now we should be able to access the menu, which we are. He is allowed to access all the stations, and I'll show you. You can access the cleaning station, cut station, drill station, and plate station. But the one thing he cannot access is the machine status screen, which is locked to only supervisors. So now that you've seen this, let's go back to the login screen, log out, and log back in as the supervisor who has access to every screen. So we should be logged in now. Go back to menu, machine status, and there we are. We get to see everything here. Okay, so let's start out with this screen. This is my machine status screen, and what this tells you is the status of every station, as well as the total plates processed, and it provides an e-stop and a reset button. So e-stop will stop whatever state it's in, stop the machines from running completely. The reset button will reset the total plate process count, as well as which state the PLC is at. So if it's at the cutting state and you stop the machine and hit reset, it will start the process all over from the cleaning state again. Same for the drilling state. Hit the reset button after you press stop, we go all the way back to cleaning. Now the reset button can only be pressed when the e-stop is pressed, so it doesn't allow you to reset mid-process. Okay. Going back, this is the main menu, and what we have here is obviously display navigation, as well as a state indicator to tell you whether the system is idle or running, and a message display at the very bottom here, which will tell you if the cutting station is running or not and warn you not to enter if that is the case. So our first station is the clean station, and what we do in this station is we process our copper plates through a cleaning chemical bath, and we dry it through the station here. Now what you're allowed to do on this screen is select the total number of plates you want to process overall in the main process. So basically, whatever number you set here is the number of plates that is going to be processed for every consecutive station. So let's say we want to process 3 total plates, or actually let's change it to 4 total plates. We change that number here, and this changes the preset on one of the counters in the PLC. We also have a timer here for 4 seconds, which is the time it takes to clean one of the plates, and my animation down here. So you'll also find an e-stop, a start button on the screen, a navigator to go back to the menu, and a navigator to go to the next station, which I'll show you in a second. But if we press start, we can see what happens when we start cleaning these plates. They get dipped into the chemical bath, and they get dried, and they move on. And it'll do this 4 times. Now if we get ready and go to the next station, the cut station, this happens immediately after the clean station is done. So as soon as this hits 4, it's going to reset, and here we go. Now we start cutting the plates. This takes 2 seconds overall, and all we have on this screen is an e-stop because the start doesn't need to be pressed since it continues right after the cleaning phase is done. So we just cleaned and cut 4 plates. Now you can either go back to the menu from here or back to the cleaning station. If we go back to the menu, we can go to our next station in the chain after we check our machine status just to see where we're at. So cleaning is complete, cutting is complete, but it hasn't been finalized yet because we're waiting to start the drilling phase. So once we start the drilling phase, this will be marked as complete, and we know that we're completely done with the previous states. So right now we're just waiting on our drilling state and then eventually our plating state. So the system is currently running. We're waiting to move on to the next state. Let's go to the drill station. And here we go, cutting in process, do not enter. And that's because we were just previously using the cut station, and it hasn't been reset yet. So let's go to the drill station. In our drill station, our options are to choose the different number of holes, or different amount of holes to drill in one of our plates. So we can choose any number between 0 and 200. Now, there is a built-in safety mechanism here, whereas if you were to type in an absurdly high number on the range, like 180, it'll give you a little alarm telling you, here we go, drill count high, consider lowering drill count for higher quality. Now, we can lower this number back down to something more reasonable, so it won't take forever, and we don't get that alarm. So if I go to 20, and I press start, we have a counter here for the total number of holes drilled, and we have a bar here, giving us a visual representation of that. So here's the drilling animation. We're going to drill 20 holes per plate, and as we stated before, we chose to process 4 plates total in our very first station, and that's what it's going to do here. So it's going to do this 2 more times. If we go back to menu, while this is processing, we can see that the system is running and machine status, drilling is in progress. Let's go back to the drill station now. Okay, this should be the last plate to process. There we go, and we're done. Now the next stage in the PCB manufacturing process would be the plating station, which is reflected here as well. So let's go to the plate station. And here we have our copper to be plated. So here's our total plates to be processed again, which is defined in our very first station. This shows you the count in mils of copper that's being plated, and this is another visual representation of that. The animation is down here, and we get to choose what amount of copper we want to plate from 0 to 80 in mils. So there's another built-in alarm here where if you were to process or plate more than 78 mils of copper up to 80, it'll warn you that the limit has been reached. So let's go ahead and try that. Let's leave this at 80, and let's hit start. This is going to take a little bit to process. It cycles through a 0.75 second timer per plate, so it will take a little bit. But I'll change the copper plate after this so we don't have to wait as long. So this is going to go up to 80, and once we do hit 80, it's going to give us a little alarm telling us we've reached the copper limit. While this is doing that, go back to the menu, system is running, machine status, everything is complete, plating is just in progress. Now, I can also demonstrate the e-stop while we're here. E-stop stops everything, the count stops counting, animations stop, the PLC is not processing any more plates, and if you go to machine status, well, first thing here, we can see the system is idle. That's our first indicator. Machine status shows us that this is still in progress, as it's never changed. It isn't running right now, but this is the last step it was processing. So let's go back and resume. All I gotta do is hit start. And it's gotta do this 20 more times. As you can see, the animation shows a little print head going along and building up the copper on this single plate here. Okay. And there's our alarm. Copper limit reached. So that just tells us that we would not be able to plate any more copper using this station. 80 mils is the limit, so let's lower this now to 10 to make it quicker. And this is changing the preset value on the copper plate counter in my PLC program. So now it's stopping at 10, and now we have only one more plate to process before the whole system is complete, and our plates are ready to be manufactured further into PCBs. So that's it. We go back to machine status. We first see that the system is idle, everything is complete. Machine status tells us that everything is done, and we're just awaiting start. Now I can demonstrate what the reset button does. So this is our total plates processed. Since we only did this one time, it's only going to say 4. But if you were to consecutively run this program even further, it can reach numbers up to, I believe the max is 1000. But since the machine is stopped now, I can just hit reset and we go back to 0. If I were to press reset in the middle of a program after stopping it, this will start the whole process all over again, leaving us right at this state here, where everything is just waiting to start. And I can demonstrate that right now, just for clarity. So let's process one plate, just to make it nice and quick. One plate's going to process. It's going to go straight to the cutting station. Here it is, cut. Boom, done. Okay, now, if I were to start the drilling process and stop in between and say, hey, I need to reset this whole system because something went wrong, or it was a missed order or a wrong order. We go to machine status. We can see we're in the middle of the drilling state. I say stop if it wasn't already, reset, and now we're going to start from the beginning again. And that is about it for this HMI display. The only thing that you can't see behind the scenes is the PLC program, which I'll show you, and the HMI tag, which, since I'm on this topic, the HMI tag is being used to scale down the accumulator on the timer in the PLC program just to represent seconds instead of thousands. And that is about it for this program. So, I hope you enjoyed the tour. I'm going to log out now, and I'm going to shut down the program. Thanks.